Hello, everybody. It's Curiosity, and we're back with another top 16 video. I think you're all really enjoying these, so I'm gonna keep with it and keep you in the loop with the latest updates, thanks to Egman and these lovely posts that are always happening. Today, we have the Play TCG's October Regional that just happened last weekend. So we are going to dive into it and see what's kind of been going on. But I did take a quick peek, and it's pretty cool to see that we have such a variety today. So I wasn't expecting to see a couple names on here, and we'll definitely go through those in a little bit as we start going down the list. But let's start with our first place winner. And I apologize if I pronounce your usernames incorrectly, but I believe this is XLR Alpha or Xlorate, maybe? I apologize. I'm going to go by Alpha. Please forgive me. But let's jump into your first place Mirage deck, which is so cool. We already know that Mirage is a pretty strong deck, and this is definitely a testimony to that. It's not the first time Mirage has made top lists before, and it is very cool to see that keeping it simple definitely can get you quite a ways up. So we can see that, you know, it's pretty much a pretty standard styled Mirage deck, running your Ice Walls, your Thomases, of course, and of course your Mirages at 4 and 3. So your ratios are looking pretty good. I'm curious to see how quick this was to deal with some of the other decks and to really combat some other places there. But overall, seems like a pretty good win. So congrats there on your first place win. Jumping into second place, we have our Fenil deck. We can see again here, like, they're very kind of simple lists so far, which is amazing to see that sometimes when you just go super simple or super authentic to the deck type, you can get pretty well and see those positive results in places like regionals and locals and everything like that. So very, very cool to see that top place there, and congrats to Nostalgia. You did an awesome job reaching your second place there. Jumping into third place, we have Geno's 160 with an Imperial deck. And again, we have this simplicity here. We're starting to see kind of more stability in each of the decks that are being made. They're starting to be fine-tuned. So we're starting to notice that a lot of these top decks are kind of following some sort of a formula now. And it's nice to see that, again, we're running that kind of simple style. I've noticed that they are running some of the extra promo Wormmons in here. I know a lot of people were only running one of them, and we can see here that there are 2 in this deck, which is kind of cool. But other than that, we're really trying to stay pretty authentic. And it's also pretty cool to see the Dino be actually kind of hidden and snuck in there at 1 this time around. And we're running 3 of the Return to the Primogenitor, which seems like a pretty good tactic here, especially for this type of deck. And the other thing that was also kind of fun to see is actually the ST version of Imperialdramon Dragon Mode also snuck in there. So very, very cool to see that we're kind of going back old school, staying classic, and moving from there. So again, congratulations to Geno for the Imperial deck. Jumping into fourth place, we see Mike with a Magnamon X in here. And it is really awesome to see that Vmon is still getting all of the love here with the Magnamon deck. And we could still see, again, here we're running into this, you know, very standard format now for Magnamon X with some tech choices in here like Death X. And it's really awesome to see that we are starting to kind of see consistency here as we kind of start to progress more into this particular set. Let's jump into our next kind of totally different style of deck here. In sixth place, hopefully I don't pronounce this incorrectly, we have Okarun with Mother Control, but this is an ace base. So opening this up, I was floored seeing the amount of aces that were in here. I know it says ace in the brackets. I just didn't realize how many there were going to be. So it is so cool to see that even Mother Shoto has this window of opportunity, having all of these ace plays just kind of like in the back pocket and kind of building or hard playing the Terurimon, getting that kind of end of attack ability there once you're digivolving on top, setting up the Edamon for those ace plays is really cool, and having those Digimon Emperors to really slow your opponent down. Paired with Shoto with the whole blocker thing on Mother, I think that this is super insane and can be a pretty fast-paced deck if played right. So congrats there to 6th place again. Another name that I didn't expect to show up here was actually Jessmon in 8th place. So again, we are staying fairly classic here with the type of Jessmon deck that we are seeing here, but we're also running the Magnamon X in here at 2 and Gravity Crush, which is what a great card to kind of work with if you're short some memory. Playing that Gravity Crush, gaining the 2 memory, doing what you need to do, and then losing it at the end of the turn can really kind of help you push for game there. Same thing with being able to unsuspend your Digimon with Meppa as well. So awesome to see that now we're starting to get this variety of Jessmon in here and a few other cards or a few other decks that are kind of we don't usually get to see. So congrats to my television for your Jessmon. We also have Panda at 1 with AncientGreymon. I thought this was pretty standard for the red base style of AncientGreymon decks, but also seeing the hybrids kind of snuck in here with the Jet Sylphimon, which allows you to kind of have that end of game sort of turn there, as well as the Venusmon to kind of slow your opponent down by giving everything negative security attacks. The other thing I thought was pretty cool is seeing the Floodgate of Solarmon. I usually see this in a Jessmon deck, but it was actually in this deck, so it's kind of cool to see that the Floodgates are still kind of fairly strong for when they're being played there. And of course, we have the Uko engine really pushing this deck up. And then jumping ahead, we're going to go to Alpha with the Yellow Vaccine deck. So congratulations there. Again, this is kind of more of the Armor Vaccine style of a deck. So you are running, you know, kind of that Rapidmon X and getting that extra little push there. So very, very cool to see decks like this. Even as a yellow deck, we always knew Yellow Vaccine is pretty strong, and now paired with not only like the Ukos as well as all the aces that you have open up to you with Valkyrie, Magna, and Angemon as well, it can be a pretty strengthly deck that you have here, and it is still topping. So it's cool to see that Yellow Vaccine is still lurking in there even now. And then one of the last 2 I want to go through here is 14th place with, I hope I pronounced this correctly, Anibal and the BlackWarGreymon deck. Wasn't expecting to see BlackWarGreymon pop up on here, let alone for a while, but looking at it, it does make a ton of sense because this deck is great at combating Tamers, and it can really kind of counteract that Shoto. Get it off the field if you're facing like Mother Shoto, and as well as a lot of other tamer heavy decks. So it'll be interesting to see how well BlackWarGreymon ends up doing later on when we get the 2.0 sets coming out, when we're starting to get more of that hybrid support. So it'll be very interesting to see if more people are going to start shifting over to it, if more people are going to start playing this to counteract the tamers, and kind of what that'll look like in the future regionals that we have, or even future locals. And then of course we also have our Mother Control hybrid base. I'll touch on this just a little bit. So similar in the sense that we are now running the hybrid style. So we're kind of hybriding on top of Shuyu Lin, getting that mind link, separating it, and then constantly having that ability to kind of evolve for very little cost and being able to still have access to that tamer there. And then of course, and that was Lee, sorry. And finally we have Domino with the Omni Ace here. And again, we're kind of sticking to the classics here. It's nice to see that we're kind of, again, back in those nice simplified versions of the deck with a couple little engine choices like the Ukomons, and even having, you know, Fireball in here to kind of counteract some of your opponent's stuff and everything like that. So again, congrats to all top 16 winners here. Again, if I didn't go through your deck today, I hope you enjoy your win. And have a good time with that. And I will see you all at the next video. So have a great night. If you enjoyed all this, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye.